This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Monday, everybody. Sam Shaka and Stephanie Jones in the house.
Yeah.
And Al Jackson. Al, you're a dad. We're used to being ignored. I apologize.
They are the headliners. I love it.
They are.
Okay. Yeah.
What was that? What was that reaction?
You said you're a dad. We're used to being ignored.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's
wrong with that?
There's a positive to that. You're not constantly being asked snack, 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 mom, 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 help, help, help.
Wow.
Yo, your dad's right there.
You took that internally.
Your dad's
I
right
think
there.
she's having an argument from
Who
48
gets better
hours
presents
ago.
on Mother's Day or Father's Day? Right there.
Yes.
Right there. Wow.
Yeah, Father's Day presents need to step all
Dr.
the way
Jordan, she posted about that too.
Oh, trust me, I know. Again, getting the short end of the stick. My wife's not even here. Thanks for sticking up for all women. Welcome to DBL. Taylor Swift showed up to rounds of roaring applause to the Chiefs-Bills game in Buffalo yesterday. Speaking of women, the one and only Taylor Swift was actually booed by Bills fans, or should I say dads, going into the stadium, and then blew a kiss to one of them. Ooh. Travis later scored a touchdown. He actually scored two, but on the first one, he made Taylor's signature heart with his hands. Get your head in the game, dude.
No.
Taylor was also seen cheering in the suite with her bestie, Brittany Mahomes, which is Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback's wife. But all eyes were on Travis's brother, Jason, who took off his shirt to celebrate in the crowd. Al, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But at one point, look, he jumped into the stands and started high-fiving fans. Even though some of them were booing him, he also held up a young fan so she could see Taylor Swift. That's so cute.
Oh,
they
that's
took
cute.
pictures with other people in the crowd. Now, Al, you want to explain to people who don't know Jason Kelce,
Yes.
recently retired?
Well, if you want to get to know Jason Kelce better, there's a great documentary called Kelce, and it's really through the eyes of his wife. He's always been teetering about retiring from football. It beats your body up so much. He's the center. He's the guy that snaps the ball between his legs to the quarterback, so you get hit every play. And watching the documentary, I didn't realize that he was 36 years old. He moves like a 46-year-old, so his wife is kind of like, we have to live together after this. So it's a really interesting documentary through the eyes of his family. But good news is he retired.
Last week.
He retired last week. They lost last week. So he retired. So I think you seeing him with his shirt off, drinking beer, this is really the first week he's probably ever had in his whole life to just be a regular person. Like, I'm drinking beer and I'm to get ready for practice. No one's ever going to tackle me again. And so I think we were seeing some of that as well.
I can just say this. Sophie watched her very first football game yesterday evening, just to get little sneak peeks of Taylor Swift.
Oh, that's cute.
And she was so happy that Taylor Swift's team won. That's what she calls it, Taylor
nice.
Swift's team. Not Travis Kelce.
That's how they should be in the
Not the
standings.
Chiefs. Taylor Swift's team won. She's all in now.
I'm sure
of
a lot
it.
of people tuned in to see Taylor Swift, but it was a fantastic game, by the way. But just give me your
Yeah.
take. I know you don't care about
Steph
the
is
game.
like, don't give me that
No.
lead in.
I wasn't leading you into that. I was just telling you.
Steph's football is soccer.
Yes, absolutely. I think obviously he can celebrate in any way. Fabulous, well done on retiring. Taking your shirt off is not my preferred mode of decorum. I don't care to see it.
All right, well then you're not going to like this next one. So speaking of taking your shirt off, Steph, comedian Natasha Leggero did just that at a recent comedy show in LA. TMZ posted this video showing Natasha following a comedian at the Hollywood Improv. His name is Bert Kreischer, who famously ripped off his shirt during his segment. So Natasha decided to try it too, and here's how it went down.
I am jealous.
Wow.
You heard Bert Kreischer laughing in the background, who's notorious. We both know him. Notorious for taking off his shirt. Does it all the time.
He did an entire Netflix special without his shirt on. And I've known Bert since before he was famous and he was doing this. It's his way. He just would take his shirt off and chug a beer, and he's everybody's best friend. Famously, there was a movie made about his life. It said that the Van Wilder movies were about his life when he was at Florida State, I believe, famous party frat guy, great guy. And Natasha, who I know her husband better than I know her, is an edgy comic, and she thought, hey, if the boys can do it, why can't I? She's been a writer on a ton of things. She's a famous comic in her own right. And I thought this was a great moment for comedy. It's just like, I think that the best thing about stand-up and the best thing about live performance is, you know, the instant feedback and the kind of shock value that you have when people are trying to do art and make it funny and make it controversial and poignant. So good on her.
I love how Al's looking at me, waiting for the disgust that he thinks is about to follow.
I don't know how you view this.
No, I actually do not mind this at all. I'm like, if that's what she wants to do, go ahead and enjoy your time.
Yeah,
Right.
her body, it's late at night. I think this was like at 11 o'clock at night. There's no kids in the audience.
Right.
It's comedy.
I feel like it's a different situation than at the football game. To me, I
Right.
see these as totally different. Like you said, this is more artistic. They're comedians. It followed in suit very nicely from the first comic. Sorry, I don't remember his name.
Bert Kreischer,
but
yes.
I think it followed on nicely. I get what she was doing.
And look, we're all
the
talking
football
about
game,
it.
I was really
So
disturbed.
the football game is a little more
She didn't like that
I didn't
one.
higher
appreciate it.
brow. You can't take your shirt
We should
off
take
at a
Steph to a
game.
football game. That'll change before we're out of the parking lot.
Before
Yes.
you get in the game,
Yeah.
you're going to
The
be like,
19th
wow.
F-bomb. It's like, okay, yeah, it's okay to do anything you want to here.
The parking lot before a football game is like living in the jungle with silverback gorillas.
It really is.
Yeah,
It's insane.
Craziness.
Yeah, I experienced it once. I've been to one football game. I went to a Tampa Bay Buccaneers game because my friend's brother was on the team. And we went to Raiders Stadium in Oakland. This was a long time ago.
Wow.
And so we walked through the tailgating. We were probably like 16 years old, and we were all in Tampa Bay gear, and the Raiders didn't care that we were 16. Apples were thrown at us.
No.
Objects I can't even name on television were thrown at us. So yeah.
All right.
I'm never going back.
I don't know if
Wow.
any
Worse than apples.
apple to the tailgating.
An apple was thrown at us.
I don't believe
That sounds
That's
sounds fake.
crazy.
Oh my God, an apple was thrown
Who
at
brought
us.
an apple to the...
I don't know.
Al, do you want to go to a football game? Oh my God, I forgot my gloves and my apple.
Maybe
Yeah.
a kid
Yeah, but
threw
maybe
it.
they did it on purpose to specifically throw at the opposition.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Steph.
In England, that sounds quite doable.
Better than a
Everyone
tomato.
seems like horrified, but in England, I feel like that could happen.
Yeah, I think so, Steph.
Throw
Thank
an
you.
apple, a
Yep,
tomato.
they expected us. They knew we were coming. They did.
All right. Singer Elle King is getting roasted after she admitted she was drunk on stage at the Grand Ole Opry at a show that was honoring Dolly Parton's 78th birthday. At one point, she forgot the lyrics to Dolly's song, Marry Me. Let's watch.
You bought tickets for the You ain't getting your money back. I'll tell you one thing is true.
I don't want it.
Good, because you ain't getting it.
Dang. Someone should have brought an apple. After fans complained online, the Grand Ole Opry responded saying, quote, "We deeply regret and apologize for the language that was used during last night's performance."
God, all right. I'm tired of fans complaining.
The fans didn't complain.
Somebody wrote it. The Grand Ole Opry had to respond. Look, part of entertainment is there's something probably going on with that artist. I know it's hard. I know everybody wants Taylor Swift all the time, but there's some tortured artists, and I'm not saying that, I'm not highlighting this. I'm not saying that being an alcoholic or maybe an alleged alcoholic is something that's cool, but it's something that's been interwoven with music and art for the entire time. Jimi Hendrix formerly had some issues. Everyone you could ever name, there's something about trauma that creates great art. And if you guys want everything sanitized and you want to complain about everything, you're going to get artists that are down the road, down the middle of the road, and that's good. But you're not going to get the great hits. I'm sorry. I wish it was different.
I'm
I
right
wish
there
it was
with you.
different.
What a double standard. You see certain like male hair bands, if you will.
Are we in a time machine for this? You know, up and coming bands like Twisted Sister. Yeah, Sam.
You see certain bands where they can be wasted on stage, smashing their guitar, and it's not a big deal. and then God forbid a woman does it, and her whole career is tarnished.
Let me respond to that real quickly, because I don't think it's a woman thing. Had she responded like, hey man, I'm feeling good, just like all you guys out there, I forgot the words, we're all here celebrating Dolly's birthday. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, I think it's a response that is off-putting, saying you ain't getting your money back. Yeah. I don't care if a man said that, it'd be the same reaction.
I think she's being funny. Again, it is off-putting, I guess, but if you... She's laughing, though.
Yeah, but I think...
I don't think it's that big of a deal, in my opinion.
say Jeff was right. If she had just been like, look, guys, I'm feeling no pain.
You could end right
here.
there. Jeff is right. Good period.
Yeah. I didn't like the yelling at the end, but yeah, I think it's okay.
What did she yell at the end?
She was, you're not getting your money back.
She was laughing through it, saying it.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it's okay, but let's not put words in her mouth or policing her tone when that wasn't her tone. Stop policing her tone.
I won't.
I wish someone had an apple and just whipped it across her chest.
That would hurt. That would hurt.
All right, coming up by DBL, Reese Witherspoon ignites an online debate about eating snow. We're going to explain what it's all about. And we're getting a better look at Pauly Shore's playing Richard Simmons. Can he pull it off?
We're live.
Okay, Sam is recounting an apple encounter.
Dude, that's scary at 16 years old to have a bunch of Raider fanatics throwing things at
Famously, the Raiders is the worst.
Scary.
Is the worst stadium to go to if you're an opposing fan.
Scary.
Like, that's definitely well known.
So then we went back to the locker room where the Buccaneers and her brother Trent Dilfer was, and we went back there, and literally a big mob of what looked like grown men, like 40, 50-year-old men.
That's really bad.
It wasn't like 20-year-olds, not to excuse if a 20-year-old treated a bunch of teenagers like this.
So you were likely to see that, I suppose.
It was scary.
Yeah.
It was like a mob of grown men following us.
Yeah,
it was scary.
Yeah, football games I think have really tried to, and I know they've tried this in soccer stadiums in Europe.
Yeah.
They've tried to clean it up because, you know, you guys have hooligans over there.
We have I don't know what the right word is, but people organize to meet to fight.
Yes.
Literally.
I've never been to one. I want to go so bad.
Oh man,
I would. So much fun.
Crazy. Okay. But they organize it and they go. Let's say 2 different teams. They meet at a certain place at a certain time, and their sole objective is to fight.
Yeah.
And everyone leaves in whatever state they leave in, and it's on you, and it's agreed before, and you go off your merry way.
Right.
I find it so ludicrously insane.
I watched the Beckham documentary. Did you watch it? I couldn't believe how poorly they treat. I mean, I've heard stories about like if a player messes up, like.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
Dude,
it's bad.
Guy was completely lambasted, made fun of for like 2 years, abandoned, and then as soon as he scored again, they were on his side.
I think it's that, again, it's the British paparazzi.
Welcome back. Pauly Shore's short film about Richard Simmons dropped last night at Sundance, and it's centered around his viral Ellen appearance. Shore channeled Simmons with the hair, of course, the tank tops and thigh-high shorts, while reenacting his high energy on the Ellen show. But aside from Richard, the short focuses on David, a producer for Ellen that's down on himself and treated poorly by his co-workers. But then we see a sweet moment from Richard as he has a heart-to-heart with him. Let's watch.
You know, there was a time in my life when food was the only thing that brought me peace. Food was very nice to me, and I wasn't nice to myself.
You're only talking to me because I'm fat.
No, David. No, stop it. I saw you working really hard not to be noticed, and I know what it's like to want to disappear, okay? And I could see it in you. What's my first rule? Like yourself.
So Paulie's also playing Richard in a full-length film and said he's holding out hope Richard still will come around, but he's going forward with it, whether he gets his approval or not. So we all watched the short film. What'd you think of it, Sam?
I think this is the return of Pauly Shore. Whether he gets Richard Simmons' blessing or not, it's already been accomplished. If you read the comments, thousands of comments underneath this short film, it's debuted, what, 24 hours ago, almost has 1 million views.
Wow.
And the comments are saying, he nailed the essence of Richard Simmons. And people also saying, I'm glad he celebrated Richard Simmons, because in the past, Richard Simmons has been mocked. So I think, listen, a lot of people are going to come at me saying, but he never got the blessing of Richard Simmons. That's not how Hollywood works. There's a lot of biopics out there where you don't get the subject's blessing. So if anyone's going to do it, I'm glad it's Pauly Shore. I think he nailed it. Good for him.
What'd you think, Steph?
So I don't know Pauly like you guys do. I didn't grow up in America watching him on television or in movies or whatever. So this was my first experience watching him. And I thought he did a beautiful job of portraying a national treasure in a really delightful way. And being able to spot, you know, people having a bad time, being able to lift them, support them. And the only thing I didn't like was the very odd Ellen DeGeneres.
Yes.
I don't really know what was going on with the wig. And at that point, I thought, is this going to take a different turn? Is it going to turn into a comedy?
Wow.
I really thought that it was that odd.
Jeff, you looked better as Ellen. Do we have Jeff's picture? Because literally, Jeff looked more like Ellen.
Listen, Pauly, I'm available, buddy.
Dude,
I'm available.
Yes, yes.
Well, it's already filmed, so we can't go back. But to be perfectly fair, okay, I understand that is ridiculous, the Ellen thing. But if we did a more recent photo of Ellen as a comparison, if you go back to Ellen's first season, she kind of did look like that. So we need to go back a little bit, because I've seen some, like on my phone, like Ellen things. I'm like, what show is this? I'm like, oh my God, it's Ellen.
Her
She's
hair
been
was
on
that spiky?
long.
I mean,
yeah, she's been on
look
that
at pictures of us from season 1. We're totally different, and I mean, we're only 7 seasons in.
Yeah, you were wearing snake and tiger sweaters.
It was it was a dark time. Yes, but you know, I really think that, you know, the fact that Steph's only real issue with this is that the Ellen character stood out. When you think about, like, initially when we first heard about this, we wondered if Pauly was going to make a career-ending embarrassment of himself.
Yeah.
And so far, it looks like it's really held up. I look at a situation like this where Pauly's been gone for years and came back, and I weirdly keep thinking about John Travolta. People forget how gone he was until Pulp Fiction. His casting was unheard of, and now it's just like, oh, John Travolta, he was gone. Saturday Night Fever, and then that was it. And so sometimes people resurface in these roles.
Look at Pamela Anderson too, in her recent biopic, which she did on Hulu, which she did not want out, and it's completely revived her career.
Absolutely. We cover her every couple months now. So
Travolta had a couple other hits. You know what I mean?
Grease Lightning.
Yeah, he had a couple other.
No, but I'm saying at that when he came out.
No, I know what you're saying.
I see what you're saying.
And for the record, I liked it. Coming up on DBL, Reese Witherspoon started a debate after posting a TikTok that she made dessert with snow. We're talking all about it next.
Below zero temperatures have swept large swaths of the country, causing some unexpected hiccups for owners of electric vehicles. Drivers have reported their cars are losing juice more quickly than normal, in turn causing long lines at charging stations. One of our viewers, Martha, asked, do electric vehicles lose range, meaning the distance they can travel on a single battery charge in cold weather? So Martha, let's verify. Our sources are Consumer Reports, AAA, and 2 academic researchers who specialize in electric vehicles. Consumer Reports released a study where they ran numerous EVs in different seasons, controlling for all variables but temperature. The study found that at 16 degrees Fahrenheit, the cars on average could only go about 3/4 of the distance they could travel at 65 degrees. A similar study by AAA a few years ago showed similar results. The cars back then actually performed even worse in cold weather. So we can verify, yes, electric vehicles lose range in cold weather. So why is that? The biggest reason is simply the need to keep the driver comfortable. Gas-powered cars generate heat by burning fuel, and that heat can just be pumped into the cabin. But EVs need to generate heat independently, meaning the battery now has 2 jobs in cold weather, propelling the car and heating the cabin.
Electric cars are way more efficient. Most of the energy is being used to move the car, and there's not so much excess heat that is being created. A little bit, but not much. So when we need to heat the cabin where we sit, we actually need to use more energy, and that lower the range of the car.
The good news, the loss of range shouldn't affect most drivers. On longer trips, you will need to recharge more often in cold weather, but for a daily commute, it shouldn't make much of a difference. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back to DBL. Reese Witherspoon is dividing the internet over eating snow. Have you guys weighed in?
I have not. Reese, now's my chance.
Reese recently posted a video where she scooped up some fresh snow from her car and put it in her cold brew, but her fans weren't having it and claimed the snow was dirty. So Reese held up a clear glass of melted snow to prove it was clean and posted this response.
I didn't grow up drinking filtered water. We drank out of the tap water. We actually put our mouths on the tap. And then sometimes, like in the summer, when it was hot, we drank out of the hose. Like we put our mouth on the hose growing up. And then, so filtered water, maybe that's why I'm like this.
You're Reese Witherspoon. What are you making these videos for on TikTok?
It's part of her brand.
Yes, you're close to an A-list Hollywood star.
You're
you don't
right.
need to be drinking snow.
Listen,
Sorry,
she's
go
got
ahead.
kids. My kids and I do this too. Every time, so we have a snow cone machine. We have a snow cone machine.
An ice machine.
A snow cone machine.
Yeah, but it's just ice.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
It's not
ice.
Snoopy,
Yeah,
but it's a snow cone machine.
Ice.
So after a good snow, we don't have to grind the ice from the freezer because my kids can just go out there. We have those little cute paper cone things. They go out there, they scoop it up, we put some syrup on top, boom, living off the land.
I love that. I love it.
We still got a minute left, so you better put something in there.
No, I will just say
that. Do you think it's gross?
To you. Do I think yes?
Yeah, I can
But
tell you
I think that what she kind of said at the end got me a little bit, where she was like, "Yeah, we drank out of the hose."
What's wrong with that? Did you never drink out the hose?
Of course, and I think she probably brought a lot of people back. I think there is some sterilization to everything that we have, and I think just going old school with snow, not for me, but a lot of people will throw their beer, like a six-pack, in the snow and go back and get it. So I do think there are some uses. I think a snow cone machine is ridiculous. It's just ice with sugar water on it. You can knock this out with some food coloring and some liquid sugar.
It's more fun when it's snow. It's fluffier.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about dirty snow. You know, it's like when the snow just comes down.
Okay, but are you okay? That I find
You do
I find
this
that
with your
strange and
kids,
off-putting.
no?
What?
You guys don't do something like that?
Go out and, hey, it's Sunday, let's go eat some
I
snow.
bet Jordan does.
Jordan?
Ask her. She makes snow
She's
cones.
a secret snow eater? Yeah.
I think it's so cute.
It is cute. Thank you, Steph.
I wish in England growing up we'd have had snow to do that with, and I bet we would have. My dad was pretty cheap. He would not have been like getting ice lollies wrapped up, or if the ice cream van came, it was like a treat. So that would have definitely, and then it would have been you buy the sauce with your pocket money.
I love that.
I'm
Ice
serious.
cream van. We have a truck, they got a van. I dig it. The door slides like the A-Team.
All right, that's enough of that. We'll be right back.
I like ice cream van.
These oversized tumblers are taking the world by storm and flying off the shelves. Stanley can't seem to produce them fast enough, but WCNC viewer Karen S. asked us if these contain lead. So the question, do the Stanley tumblers have lead in them? And are they safe to drink out of? Let's verify. Our sources are Stanley 1913, the company that makes the drinkware, and family physician Dr. Carla Robinson. In an email to our Verify team, Stanley stressed their cups meet all U.S. regulatory requirements. They said no lead is present on the surface of any Stanley product that would come into contact with your beverage. However, Stanley did say it seals its insulated products with an industry standard pellet that includes some lead. Stanley says the pellet is completely covered and enclosed by a stainless steel cover, making it inaccessible to consumers. But what are the health implications for someone who comes into contact with lead? Dr. Carla Robinson says lead is a naturally occurring element that's even found in soil. But in this case, natural doesn't equate to healthy.
With exposure over time, you can certainly find some serious health effects if that exposure is repeated and at high levels.
Dr. Robinson added that the average person is probably exposed to a little bit of lead every day. Lead exposure is measured by how many micrograms per deciliter are in your bloodstream.
The average lead level is somewhere less than 10 for adults. And so we do have some exposure on a regular basis, and that's something to be expected.
But Robinson says it's highly unlikely you'll be exposed to enough of it to cause lead poisoning.
The important thing to know is that it's chronic, high levels of exposure that could potentially cause the harm.
So we can verify that yes, Stanley tumblers are sealed with a small trace of lead in their insulated cups, but the lead is completely enclosed by stainless steel and does not come into contact with your drink. With your Verify, I'm Megan Pratt.
If you're thinking about using a space heater during these frigid temps, listen up. Many viral social media posts claim that plugging space heaters into extension cords or power strips could start a fire. But is that true? Let's verify using these sources. Space heaters require a high electrical current, and our sources say most extension cords and power strips aren't designed to handle that. So plugging a space heater into one of those may cause the cord or strip to overheat and cause a fire. Instead, our sources say the safest way to use your space heater is to plug it directly into a wall. But make sure it's plugged in all by itself. The Electrical Safety Foundation says plugging multiple devices into the same outlet could result in the outlet overheating and cause a fire. So we can verify it's true. Space heaters plugged into extension cords or power strips can be a fire hazard. There are other safety tips to keep in mind when using a space heater. Make sure you place it on a level, hard, non-flammable surface, such as a tile floor. If your home is carpeted, invest in a hard surface to place the space heater on. Keep the unit at least 3 feet away from anything that can burn, like fabric or paper. And if you can, don't leave it running overnight. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Here's a question. Do you take cold showers? We know Sam eats snow, but experts say building up your tolerance to the cold water can help reduce inflammation and improve our mood and circulation. So do you guys do this? I actually do this at the end of my shower. Quick 30 seconds, get your body, the tolerance up, and you get a little.
I have to really think about it.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Because I do like the fact that it can make my hair shiny because it closes the hair cuticle. But this morning when I took my shower, I thought to myself, should I do it? No. Too cold. Too cold, right, Steph? Too cold.
There's absolutely no amount of money anyone could pay me to endure such a torture. Honestly. Put me in a jacuzzi, put me in a hot tub, in a steam room, infrared.
After you get out of there, you jump in a cold plunge?
No.
After that, you're ready to box a kangaroo. I'm serious.
I'm sure you are, but I would prefer everything, you know, to be nice and warm and cozy and relaxing instead of like shock, heart attack feeling.
You got
I'm team Steph on that one.
Thanks to Jacuzzi for this conversation. If you want to start your bathroom remodel, Jacuzzi can help you do it the right way. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process. Call 800-990-3709 or visit jacuzzibathremodel.com. And Ira was nice enough to go get you a nice cup of snow.
Ew, there's dirt in it. No, that doesn't count. There is dirt in here.
Breaking news, Jason Kelce didn't totally make his retirement.
No, I'm not
we had to sneak that in.
Snow.
We'll see you tomorrow.